Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to go over Mawashi geri, or the roundhouse kick. I'm going to give you some tips on how to improve yours, a basic instruction of how to do the kick in the first place, and talk about a few different applications of it. A lot of people ask in my videos what kind of karate gi that I'm wearing, and I'm wearing the Bokinsha karate gi from Scott Langley Sensei. And I've worn a lot of gis in my time, and this one is one of the best. It's nice and light, it moves easily, and the material is really nice. If you want to get one of your own, I'll put a link in the description of this video. If you use the code JKG10, you'll get yourself 10 euros off. So go and check that out. Mawashi geri. What is the Mawashi geri? Mawashi geri is a turning or a roundhouse kick. Okay, it can be thrown off the front leg, or it can be thrown off of the back leg in various different combinations and deliveries. It's used in all striking martial arts, really, that use the legs at least. And to be honest, the way you kick in all of them will be fairly similar. So even if you don't do karate, these are going to be beneficial for use in your own respective martial arts. So the first thing, and I think the most important thing, is we need to look after our bodies, make sure we don't get injured. So I want to emphasize the importance of making sure that the supporting foot is rotated when we kick. Okay, I do this on the ball of the foot, so I kind of lift my heel slightly and I'll turn my foot through this way. Okay, what this does is, first of all, it protects the knee from that twisting action. The knee joint wants to go forward and back. It doesn't want to go twisting side to side. So we must make sure that the foot is put into a position that allows that knee to move correctly. So what I want to do is rotate that foot away from the target. What that's doing, as I said then, is if you watch the pelvis action from here, as my knee's lifted in front, if I turn that supporting foot, it then opens up the hip to allow for a easier kick, so it's actually going to make your kick easier as well as preventing that injury. It's also going to contribute towards power, which we'll go over in a minute when we get on the pad. But please make sure that that supporting foot is rotated. I've had people comment in the past saying that that foot shouldn't rotate. I've seen it firsthand where people have injured their knees from not doing it. So, look after yourselves. So how this is going to look when we're actually delivering the kick is this. I want to chamber my knee first, lift the knee up, and then start rotating that foot through. Okay, so I don't need to do the rotation first. I want to lift the knee, start twisting as I come through for the kick in this direction, in this way. So that rotation of the foot is adding to the power of the kick as well, because I'm coming up here with a drive from the knee, the chamber position comes up, and then there's that fast rotation from the hip that's going to send the kick into the target. So it comes up here, this foot quickly rotates around to turn my hip over into the kick, and I come around this way. Okay, so that whipping action is allowing that kick to allow my hip to turn over and create some more power. If I'm kicking from the front leg, the same thing still has to happen. So what I need to do then from there is the back foot will open up as I chamber. So I'll chamber the knee, I'll lift the knee up higher, and the back foot will rotate towards the target as well. So again, the same thing applies all the time. I must rotate that supporting foot. Lift the knee and rotate the foot from underneath, allowing my hip to come in, putting my hip into a safer position or an easier position to kick with, and protecting that knee. An exercise to train this is simply hold on to something for balance, lift your knee up in the air, the kicking leg, and just come up and over and round this way. Just working on repetitions of setting that knee up for the kick here. I'm holding on for balance because it's not an exercise for balance. It's an exercise for that supporting foot and get that technique and drill that feeling into your technique. So it becomes natural. So what part of the foot or what part of the body are we connecting with? I like to do 3 different versions really. I use the instep, the top of the foot, for a little bit more distance, especially for kind of sparring in the dojo when it's fairly light sparring, because it's, the impact is a little bit lesser. The shin for heavy impact, and also the ball of the foot for more precise impact and slightly different angles. So I'll show you the 3 of them, what they look like. The instep is going to be here with the top part of the foot, toes pointed and the top of the foot is connecting. The shin is going to be deeper into the pad, a little bit more closer range. And the ball of the foot, I'm going to pull my toes up. I'm going to change my angle a little bit to come outside more so. I'm going to chamber my knee a little higher this time. I'm going to come around with the ball of the foot, okay? Same thing, again, all the time. Supporting foot must rotate with it. So how would we apply the 3 different kicks then? As I said earlier, if I'm going to go instep, it's for a little bit more reach and maybe more of a dojo type sparring or a competition style sparring kick. So from here, I'll generally go off the front leg with that instep. I'll come up here and reach the kick from this way. So I'm getting a nice controlled kick, a long kick, and protecting the partner in terms of training. We're obviously not trying to take their head off in the dojo. When I would use the shin then is more to the leg or to the body. Okay, so I come to the body with the shin for a little bit more impact, a little bit more power. The ball of the foot is a little bit rarer. I wouldn't use it as often, but we can use that to kind of pinpoint some damage, put some damage into the body slightly differently. So for example, I could wrap it around his guard more so. Say he's got a longer guard out here, he's reaching forwards. I could be wrapping it underneath there, throwing the ball of the foot into the body. Another one I like to use from here is wrapping around the back. So I'm connecting with the ball of the foot into the sort of back area down there. We can also use it inside thigh as well. So it's just kind of reducing the surface area that's connecting with the target to make more of a penetrating kind of impact. But I'll use all three and I'll train all three because it's good to have more tools in the toolbox. So in terms of kumite, how would we set this kick up? As I said, there's a few different versions of it, but we're going to go with we'll do two versions here for this setup situation. So for here, if I'm going to go with the insteps type kick, like a high Mawashi geri, I'm going to probably set it up with a low punch, bring his guard down. I'm going to come in here and come up with the Mawashi round to the face this way. Okay, or I can make it almost like a question mark kick as well. I can almost feint the Maigeri as he brings his guard down and then whip up that kick from the outside there. Okay, so I can set it up with hands, or I can use it as a setup for hands. So I could throw the kick to set the hands up for something else. The shin version, I would again bring the hands upwards. So he's bringing his guard up. Maybe he's parrying across, or just bring that attention higher this way. And then I'm going to throw down here. Okay, so I'm going to bring the hands up and come into the body this way. I can also make a little switch and take it across the inside leg there. If legs are not allowed in the competition, then we can make that switch and go Jodan instead. Okay, I'll show that one more time. So what we're doing is we're pulling this foot to the outside, throwing a hand for distraction, taking the kick through on the outside. So what kind of flexibility or what kind of mobility do we need to focus on in order to improve our Mawashi geri or our roundhouse kick? If we think about the kick and the kind of mechanics of it, the hamstrings of the supporting foot are important because they are planted on the ground and extended. So we need to work on our hamstring flexibility or mobility. We also need to open up the hips. So we need to be working on exercises or stretches that are bringing the hips out, like almost like a middle split type position or a half middle split, when we're coming to the sides this way. So they're these sort of focus areas, and also the lower back. The lower back is important. If you've got a tight lower back, it's going to make that rotation very difficult. So make sure that you are focusing on the low back mobility, the hamstring mobility, and then open up the groin as well. In addition to that, we want to be strengthening the abductors, the muscles that are responsible for taking the knee away from the center line. And of course, the rotational, the core strength muscles around the abs and the obliques, this kind of thing. Hopefully that gives you a few different ideas to improve your Mawashi geri and gives you a little bit of an insight into a few different ideas there. If you like this, give me a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.